What's up, friends? I'm back from the dead to take over the world. It's been forever since we've had a chance to talk like this. So hi, good to see you again. If you're wondering where I've been, I was in South Korea for a while, and I was in Tokyo for a while. That's why I haven't been recording videos like this. That's why I did all those time-lapse videos in advance, so that you would have something to watch while I was gone. And I hope you enjoyed that in the month of October. I really did put a lot of work into those. So if you haven't seen them, go check them out. They're all on a playlist. You can also head to my Ko-fi page, and you can download the high-res versions of all of those Darkstalkers drawings for free. You can tip me too, which is optional and much appreciated, but you can do the downloads for free if you're looking for something like that. So, I have been back for like a week and a half now. I was incredibly jet-lagged last week. I actually did try to record some videos. I had a day where I set aside and I recorded for, I don't know, a couple hours. I drew this very dull headshot of Okarun, and I babbled like a crazy person for just the entire length of the videos. I was so jet-lagged. I didn't even realize it as I was making the videos. When I went back to try to do the editing, I was like, I can't put these out there. And my face was like beet red. I looked and sounded drunk, which of course, if you know me, I haven't had a drink in 8 years. So I did not want to present that face to the world. I really just wanted to kind of retool the way that I do some of these videos and try something a little bit different. You'll notice this is a much longer video than maybe you've gotten used to on the channel. I have been doing them in like 10-minute bursts. We're going to try to do something a little bit different, where we just do a nice long video release and then maybe pick some clips and shorts out of it to give you a more bite-sized version later on. All of this kind of in service of me maybe finally taking that leap over and doing a live stream. So hey, you know, one thing at a time. If you like the format, if you don't like the format, let me know in the comments. Obviously, you're the people who have to watch this stuff. I just make it, so you know, I want to make sure that I'm making it in a format that you appreciate. That being said, we're drawing Dandadan. I am a huge Danda fan. Dandadan's my new jam. I'm actually current on the manga for once, while the anime is coming out, so I am really excited to kind of hit this at the height of its popularity and hopefully produce all this video poster creation stuff before the first season of the anime is over, so maybe people will care. I missed the boat on my Dungeon Meshi one, which, hey, you can still get that poster. Check out my imprint store. A bunch of other cool posters there. Look at all these posters. Editing. But yeah, I am going to try and now do a Dandadan poster. And when I originally did my first recording session on this, I had zero plan whatsoever, as I often do when I start these videos. But I was also jet-lagged beyond all comprehension. And so I just kind of drew like the easiest thing that I could draw, which is just like this little headshot of Okarun. Yeah, we're not going with that. We're not going with that. It's a cool little doodle, but it's not a poster, right? And I think there was going to be another headshot, maybe a Momo in there or something. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It don't matter. None of this matters. So today, Dandadan. And we're going to end up drawing some pretty crazy perspectives, I think. Lots of foreshortening. I got a request to do some tutorial content, and I would love to do that at some point. But maybe in kind of preparation for how that might look. Think about some of that as I'm working on this today, because the specific thing that somebody wanted me to do, and this was someone commented on a video ages ago, and I'm sorry, I've forgotten who it was, but asked me to do something along the lines of like dynamic character drawing, which is something that I'm pretty good at. I'm at least good at the composition portion of it. It's kind of an interesting disconnect between composition and drawing, right? Now, digital art allows me to take a lot of shortcuts in the drawing department. Rest my arm there, and I'm going to cut off circulation. And I'm going to regret it later. Did I tell you about the tuna? I'll tell you about the tuna in a minute. In any case, digital art gives you shortcuts in the drawing department. You're still drawing, but in the case of somebody where a traditional artist would do, like, have to thumbnail something and then, draw a couple drafts of it to make sure that they got it the way they wanted it to. Obviously your eraser is your companion on the journey, as I've said before. So I'm not saying you just start from scratch every time you make a mistake, but there's a solid chance that you would have to do more than one draft. If you're me and you bear down with your pencil like an ape and you wreck up all your art materials as you're drawing, that can make it so that you need to do multiple drafts on material. You don't have that issue with digital. And you can copy paste things a lot easier. You can pull a Wally Wood a lot easier. You can take something that is arguably like kind of decent from an anatomy standpoint, but not great from a perspective standpoint, like I just did it here with this leg, and you can cut and paste and change things so that you can keep the parts that you like and get rid of the parts that you don't. And actually, I made it a lot worse there, but you get the idea. So that's drawing, right? Composition is just really the understanding of like how a drawing needs to be put together in order to achieve the desired effect. So I'm actually might be better at composition than I am at drawing, which is kind of interesting. And like I've usually done, I have started to do details too soon. So in case you haven't quite figured out what I'm doing here, I am doing a take on one of my favorite scenes from the first arc of Dandadan, which is when Momo and Okarun, and this has already happened in the anime. Now I'm current on Dandadan. I know all the spoilers. I know who lives and who dies, as it were, and I will do my very best to not spoil anything for you. That being said, I am also current with the anime, which is still coming out. At the time that this video premieres, I believe there will be 4 episodes out, potentially 5. So I will talk about things that have happened to that point in the story, and I feel okay about that. This scene that I'm aping today has actually occurred in the anime, which is Okarun and Momo fighting with Turbo Granny and the bound spirit of the tunnel, and doing like a piggyback thing through the streets as Okarun goes real fast and Momo hits people with her psychic powers. So it's a kind of a complicated setup. So I'm not trying to get too attached to my initial sketch here because I have a feeling it's going to take me a couple of tries to get this correct. This is what you come to the channel for. Long, pointed pauses, sloppy sketching, and drinking seltzer water. That's what we do here. Alright, I am looking at a reference for this, and it is a page straight from the manga, and it is a panel that is very small, and I have it blown up to huge size. And I'm realizing that it might not be the best guide. But I really just want to get the rough... I want to get this rough stuff down so that I can start doing my own thing. Because I've got this pose in mind for Okurin. I'm just not paying much attention to composition at all right here. This looks very flat right now. I talked about how good I am making dynamic characters. And this is like the flattest thing. So we need to spice this up. Sketching's weird. It's always weird to start with a blank page. It's always weird to start to put pencil marks down. And even when I know what I want to draw, a lot of the time, it still is really difficult to translate what's in the brain to what's on the page. And that's the problem-solving aspect of this, the crux of drawing. If you're a fan of the show, if you're a fan of my art, you know how much I love to draw somebody reaching out towards the camera. Okurin's got this really great animalistic gait and posture that he does when he's transformed. I'm throwing some real wild shapes out here today. I'm sorry. I'm gonna crack up a bunch of times as I'm working on this because some of this looks. Let's just throw that away for the minute. I think I've got what I want here, and we need to get it there. Isn't that always the trick? Let's try something else. Whatever I'm drawing here is going to be way too big for the actual composition, right? It's always going to end up shrunk down. So I just have to figure out how I want everybody posed and postured. Then I can start to devise my composition. wonder how much editing went into putting into this video. Like I said, it's kind of a brave new world. I feel like I say crap like that all the time. Might be getting somewhere with this. So, like, I'm trying to draw the piggyback ride thing, which is like, because I'm a glutton for punishment, I guess. I could have just recorded a whole jet lag series. It could have been 2 headshots looking at each other. That's not why we do this. It's not. It's not. That's like half the reason why I decided to delete those videos. Because it's like, honestly, I'd say it's like, oh, it was embarrassing. I was acting like a goober. But like, I don't care about that. I'm used to embarrassing myself. I'm already a nonsense man. That bothers me not that much. What I'd be much more worried about is that it'd be boring. The final drawing, the creation of the drawing. I would way rather take a whole bunch of time and put blood, sweat, and tears into something interesting than have an easy time making something boring. Which, like, hey, I feel like if you're an artist and you're in this business to make an easy buck, you're in the wrong business. The bucks here are not easy. And I even said that in the videos that will never see the light of day, the secret videos, the forbidden tapes. The forbidden tapes. I like that. Part of the reason they are the forbidden tapes is because one of the first things I said was like, I just want to do something easy today, man. I'm tired. It's like, that's not what we're about here. You're never gonna be the #1 super guy with that attitude. The trick to all of this is just making something wacky, crazy stuff, right? I got this book by Bern Hogarth. Called Dynamic Figure Drawing. It's over there. I was going to grab it and show it to you. Maybe another time. But it was one of the first art books that I ever got. And it was a little advanced for me at the time. It might be a little advanced for me now, if I'm totally honest. But essentially it was recommended to me as being something along the lines of like, a lot of people don't like Burn Hogarth because of how stylized he makes everything. But like, why would you want to learn boring figure drawing when you can learn cool figure drawing? And it's like, yeah. I'm trying to remember who turned me on to that, actually. That's from very early days of me trying to do art. Alright, Okarun's gnarled feet aside, we'll fix that in a second. Or we won't, and then we'll really play into it even more. But yeah. Kind of look at this and I'm like, yeah! We're going somewhere. Now we're talking, baby. We could be doing this, but we're not doing that. We're doing this. I gotta put a woman on your back. I've done a lot of hand coming at the camera in the past. You've seen my drawing of the tick. At least half of my Darkstalker drawings. But Foot is new. Foot's happening now, baby. Foot's kicking ass. Yeah, we're all about Foot today. One thing about the longer videos, and something I will miss slightly about doing shorter videos, is I like coming up with the stupid titles for things. I would have loved to come up with many Foot-based titles for you. Talk about that Dan the Dan anime a little bit. I love it. And so look, Dan the Dan and Uzumaki came out at roughly the same time, the anime. And I was in the position where, I mean, Dan the Dan looked very cool, but I was like thinking to myself, you know, it's a shonen manga, it's a shonen anime. I'm sure it'll be fine. But is it gonna blow me away? It did. Well, the other one was like Uzumaki, which of course is my favorite book of ever. Trailers all made it look so good. It was in development hell for ages, which was concerning. But I had talked myself into saying like, well, that's actually good news. It means they're not gonna let some half-assed product out the door. They're gonna make sure that they do it correctly, and you know, like, no matter how long it takes, they're gonna get it done right. That's not what happened. But it was like, again, it was like the flip flop. It was like one. I was looking forward to both of them, but I was like, Uzumaki's the real thing, and then Dan Dan is something I'll enjoy as it comes out. That first episode of Uzumaki got like many fans, got my hopes up so high. It was like, okay, it paces a little bit quick. They're like weaving these things together, but it's only 4 episodes, and they need to obviously do some stuff to make the pacing work. But you know, this first episode is tight, right? The animation's great, storytelling is tight. They're actually going to be able to do this, and then just, and it's one of those things where it's like I don't really blame the production team. Because you could see what they were capable of in that first episode. You can see what that series could have been, but they got gutted. And what can you do in the face of that? It sucks. It really, really sucks. But it is what it is, kind of. All right, I'm pretty happy with this Okurin figure. I friggin' love this. It's not final yet. It's probably going to change a little bit. But oh yeah, I'm feeling good about that. All right. What the hell was I talking about? Dandadan and Uzumaki. The Uzumaki anime was not good. It's unfortunate to say it, but like in retrospect, it was not good. I really wish the first episode had been all that got produced, and we could have said, "Oh, it's a shame that they never managed to make the rest of it." Can you imagine? We don't have to imagine. We saw what would have happened, and in a lot of ways, it still feels like those next 3 episodes didn't get finished because they didn't look finished. It's just a real shame. Dandadan, on the other hand, is my new favorite show. I love every second of it. And there's not much else to be said about it besides that, honestly. But I've listened to a little bit of the sub and of the dub. They're both good. I have to look this up. Give me 1 second. That's funny. All right, so hey, I looked something up. I got a little bit confused. I think that they're just doing similar types of voice acting. I thought Abby Trott is the English voice actress for Momo, and I thought just based on like voice that she also did my other favorite anime that I can't remember the name of the character from, Ryoko from Kill la Kill. I thought that she also did that, but no, she's not. But I did see, and when looking at her filmography, she's Kirie Koshima from Uzumaki. So it's like, wow, I didn't cotton on to that. But I love the job she's doing with the character. I thought that it was it's just a very similar character, I think, to Ryuko. Erica Mendez is Ryuko Matui's voice actress in the English dub. Finer point on my pencil here. Alright, so I gotta make sure that I'm doing a similar distension here. And a lot of this is me looking over at the page and trying to copy what they've done on that, but that's not going to serve me too well because like I'm going on a very different angle. We're going to need to do some foreshortening. She's not quite big enough, is she? And the manga was smart enough to have her hand be hidden in Okurin's hair. You know something? Brendan's probably smart enough to do that too. But I do just kind of want to rough out where everything should be. Just in case.
toughest stage of any drawing, right? The very beginning. Solid chance of me working on this thing on stream at some point. Not as easy as I want it to be. Bye, Okra. It's one of the things I love about working digital is my ability to just kind of get rid of the distractions. Sometimes you need to just get rid of the distractions. I want to make sure we're able to show off Momo's clothes. Fashion is important. This is one of those moments where it's like, have you drawn bodies before, Brendan? Do you know? I've seen you at it. And so much of this anatomy is going to be covered up. It's like if I don't get it right, the drawing will look weird. And I can't allow that. Interesting.
perhaps my brain was just braining in the wrong direction. Can't do that on a piece of paper. No, you can. It just takes longer because you have to erase it. Sorry. No, I really kind of slotted that in there like a puzzle piece, and now she has to kind of like the legs and the pelvis got to stay where they are. Because of the speed. Speed lines make it go faster. Perspective. Foreshortening. Sketch episodes are always so weird. For me. I want to. I've been doing this YouTube thing for, I don't know, 6 months now. Maybe more than that. I have no freaking clue. And there's still part of me that's just like, oh, but I want to make sure, I want to be a cool guy. I don't want to show everything really fast and show how cool and fast I am. But that's not reality. And that's been like my one of my core tenets of doing this channel is like I want to show you what the reality of making this stuff is. And so if the reality is that it takes me 3 hours to get to a pencil sketch that I like, then that is the reality of the drawing. And I am never going to try to convince you that I'm some kind of artistic superhero. I think it's really damaging. I watched an episode of The Great British Baking Show recently. And I like that show quite a bit still. I really do enjoy watching it week to week, and I like to see all the things that people make. I like to enjoy the calming experience of it. But they had this episode recently where I'm not sure if it was like they were trying to convince us that this was actually footage that was captured live, or if they were just kind of leaving it. But somebody said something later in the episode that led me to believe that, yeah, you were supposed to think that this was actually happening. But they have this thing where Paul Hollywood does a demonstration of like how to braid bread. And they really obviously, like, when they're just showing like the close-up shots of him doing like the handwork on the bread braiding, they sped it up to like 250%. And then afterwards they're like, wow, did you see how fast he was braiding that bread? And I'm like, yeah, it was about half the speed of what you actually showed on the show. I don't know that anybody was actually fooled by that, but it just seems... I don't like it when... Like, I'm sure he's a great baker, and I'm sure that the speed he actually did it was plenty impressive on its own. Why do we have to try to make it seem superhuman? I don't know. Doesn't make sense to me. Alright, we're going somewhere with this. So I liked the... I really like the pose they have her in the manga panel, which you can't see, but could look it up easily enough. Where her shoulder is like out and forward, but it's not going to work exactly that way with the way that I have her posed. So I'll do my best to get it, but I'm not sure it's going to be. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do it. I need to do my own thing. Let's see. It'd be fun to costume this. Okay, I think we have decided that we're going to need to do our own pose. Hand to hand. This is kind of funny. I'm looking at this panel that I was going off of, and there's like four. Each character has 4 limbs, 2 characters in the panel. 8 limbs in total. And we see 2 feet, 1 foot of each character, no hands. Like, somebody had that figured out. Yeah, you know, I don't like this pose. I'm gonna work hard and do my best and try to figure out how to do the way they've got it over here. It's just gonna have to twist. Oh no, you're just gonna have to twist. Thanks, Momo. It's a mess. Everybody loves a mess. Hand would go just grabbing like the back of his neck.
Bum. The great thing about drawing is that you don't have to get it perfect the first time.
It was funny. I'm thinking to myself, the only. I love all the comments that I get on the channel. I feel really lucky to have a group of good eggs who leave nice comments on my videos and typically say nice things. There's only one comment that I've ever. It wasn't even that bad of a comment, honestly. But there's only one comment that I haven't liked on my channel, and it was the video that I made early on called if you drew it once, you can draw it again. It meant to be kind of a motivational thing of don't worry about making mistakes. You did it once, you can do it again. And they just left this comment just not true. Not true. Oh, okay. Sure, you got me. I lied. You drew it once and that was your one shot. It's never gonna happen again. Doesn't matter what you do. Could you imagine? I'm guessing that person probably doesn't watch my videos anymore. I feel like we're fundamentally opposed in terms of worldview about art and how art is made. Okay, we're getting somewhere with this. And the place we're getting to is we're going to need to work on the composition soon. So hey, Dandadan's got a lot of cool freaks in it, and I'm excited to get them into the background of this image, if at all possible. That's one of my favorite things about the series just in general is... So I love... One of my favorite things just across all media is... and I'm not even going to break my self-imposed swearing ban on this, which I'm always ever so good at upholding. But anyways... it was something that I picked up from... It was a term that I picked up from the Super Best Friends videos back in the day. It was something that Wooly said. And it just amounts to the moment of F yeah, all the warriors. Where it's just like that moment in any kind of battle situation, manga, video game, what have you, where you get to that, the climactic battle and oh yeah, everybody's here to help out. And I love that moment whenever that happens, just oh yeah, all the warriors, here they are. And that happens in Dandadan. I'm trying not to spoil it for you, but that happens in Dandadan numerous times, but all the warriors just the freakiest freaks you ever freaked out. It's fantastic. I love them all. This is one of my favorite hand perspectives to draw. It's one of those things that I've gotten okay at over the years. Nice and dynamic, fairly easy to do. Maybe I'll do a video on it sometime. Hands are cool, right? Hands are one of those puzzles that's once you unlock it, not saying that it gets easy, but you can definitely solve hands. Dropping the elbow low is not what we want to do there. We want to go high.
Maybe we'll leave that for another time. Tell you, if I can get these figure drawings done in this first episode, I feel pretty good about that. Alright, so we'll shrink this down quite a bit. So we can start freaking a little bit. Look at that foot. That foot's gonna call the freak phone. Hi, Robin. I'm working on it. Hey, I got this really cool book. I got this really cool book when I was in Korea. I can't read any of it because it's in Korean, but it's like a fashion guide. Oh, geez, camera awareness, where it just shows you like all kinds of different fashion things. Jeez Louise, here we go. We'll just do it upside down. Book. You know, you get the point. I don't know what the title of the book is. I can't read it. I think it's actually a Japanese author and illustrator, and this was just translated into Korean. But it's still very cool. And I just happened across it. The back cover gives you a good example of the kind of stuff that's in it. But I'm making great use of it, and not just for like modern fashion stuff either. Like you can kind of absorb those principles and put them onto like fantasy stuff, which is what I'm doing. So I'm trying to pay more attention to that sort of thing, because there's definitely like lots of stuff that I have avoided in the past. And like when I started working on Marukira, one of the main reasons that I set it in the place that I did was because I didn't want to have to worry about costuming. And hey, guess what? That was a lazy shortcut. And I don't try to do that kind of crap anymore. If you put in the work, you'll be happy with the results. Maybe not right away, but someday. Alright, I'm going to do a cool thing. This, what do you call it? Scale rotate. It's Clip Studio. Controls are similar in other programs, other graphics programs I've used. Hopefully nobody is still using Adobe stuff. If you are still using Adobe stuff, please stop using Adobe programs. Every Adobe program has a free or single time use license of a comparable program, and I'll put the link to the Adobe Alternatives card. It's pretty good at some point, so you can take a look at that. I gotta figure out who actually made that so I can give them the proper credit. But in any case, you can also just Google Adobe Alternatives, and it's really easy to find them. Anyways, point being, lots of graphic software has similar controls to this. So you get the scale and rotate thing, hold down the control button, and now this gives me kind of like a free control of this, and it lets me do. It lets me distend the figure into perspective. so that I can kind of get that pulled back thing that I want. Now, I'm not 100% sure. I do like because we want that nice stretched line, right? In a lot of cases, and it's not perfect, obviously. I have to go back and do it by hand in a lot of places, but it does help me kind of visualize the way that I want the bodies to move. Forward to doing Momo's hair. Momo does a lot of different hairstyles, and I love them all. And I'm a big fan. I'm not sure that there's ever been a romantic pairing in a manga anime that I have rooted for more than Momo Ayase and Ken Takakura. I love them both, and I just want them to be happy. But I was going to say that I love all of Momo's hairstyles in a very similar way to how I loved all of Marcel's hairstyles. And I'm very happy that Okarun gets a couple of different hairstyles too. I feel like the boys get shortchanged oftentimes, and stuff like that. And of course, he's got his normal hair, and then it's kind of devil trigger hair, or whatever you want to call it. But he also, even with his normal hair, he gets a couple of different hairstyles. So it's kind of progressive. You love to see it. All right. Getting somewhere with this. So, issues that I'm noticing. Use of space is not fantastic on my end. Gonna have to address that. But we're really just getting started. But I feel like I've solved a lot of kind of my initial issues. When we want to talk about my initial issues, here's my initial issue. And then my secondary issue, of course, was whatever the hell that is. So I feel like I've conquered a lot of that. I've figured out the figures more or less pretty much. I need to figure out still some of the foreshortening and some of the perspective. But a lot of that is going to be solved by costuming too. Oh, see, now her shoulders are way too narrow. Momo's got kind of broad shoulders, which I like as a designer. Something that I've done with my own characters in a lot of cases. Have y'all read Marikiro Destroy Them? Queen of broad shoulders. Alright. Simplify some of her curves at some point. Figure all this stuff out. We're getting somewhere with this. And when we start to tap in the details, and we start to work on the features and the costuming in the next episode, stuff will really start to come together. And once we can figure out, before we do that, maybe we're going to figure out exactly where everything needs to go. We'll throw some guides on this page and figure out exactly how we want to put everything. But I got high hopes for this one. I really do. And I think we might distend some of the stuff a little bit more. Really stylize it, really go for it. But we'll save that for next time. thanks for hanging out with me today, and we're going to do episodes like this like once a week, I think. So check back next week for the next episode. Check out, hey, my Ko-fi page, links in the description. Sign up for my newsletter, which is free. Go to my Ko-fi page and leave me a tip, which is not free, but it is extremely appreciated whenever that happens. Think about maybe even signing up for a monthly membership. Ooh. Check out my newsletter for all kinds of news about live appearances and comics that I'm working on, either for myself, for Mark Hero stuff, or with other writers. Just general news and fun stuff in that, and of course behind the scenes stuff if you're a paid subscriber, which is always cool. And if you just want to stick it on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, hear the video, the channel, all this stuff. Ring the bell so you know when I post videos. Now that I'm only doing it once a week, you're really going to want to get notified. If you haven't checked out my time-lapse stuff yet, check that out too. Those are nice and bite-sized. Thanks for joining me today. I will see you next time. I hope you got something out of the video. I know I certainly got something out of making it for you. So it's good to be back. It's good to talk to you again. And I will see you next time. Take care.